Welcome to the Teaching Troops, where we empower minds and inspire growth. Join the learning revolution with us as we explore knowledge, creativity, and success together. Let's start episode 63 of Mahabharat. The father of Astika was a powerful sage named Jaratkaru, who was as strong as the creator god Prajapati. He lived a life of strict discipline, always focused on meditation and religious practices. He ate very little, was a great ascetic, and had complete control over his desires. He was known for his intense devotion and ascetic power. One day, he decided to travel around the world. He visited many holy places, bathed in sacred waters, and rested wherever night found him. He was so disciplined that he only lived on air and never slept. During his travels, he came across a strange sight. He saw his ancestors, the Yayavaras, hanging upside down in a deep pit. Their feet were pointing upwards, and they were tied by a rope made of a special fiber, which was slowly being eaten by a rat. Seeing this, Jaratkaru asked them, "Who are you hanging like this, tied by a rope that's being eaten by a rat?" The ancestors replied, "We are the Yayavaras, great sages who followed strict vows. We are suffering here because we have no descendants. Our family line is in danger of ending because you, our son, have chosen to live an ascetic life instead of marrying and having children. This is why we are trapped here. We are in great sorrow and we ask you to help us. Who are you and why do you care about us?" Jaratkaru then realized that these were his ancestors, and he said, "I am Jaratkaru, your son. How can I help you?" The ancestors said, "You must marry and have a son to continue our family line. Having children is the greatest merit one can achieve. No amount of asceticism or good deeds can replace the importance of having children. We ask you, our son, to marry and have a son to save our line." Jaratkaru replied, "I will not marry for my own happiness or for wealth, but only for your sake. I will marry according to the sacred rules and raise children for your benefit. But I am poor. So who will give their daughter to me? If I can find a woman with the same name as mine, and her family is willing to give her to me as a gift, I will marry her. I will not act otherwise. I will have children and help you reach the heavenly realms so you can enjoy eternal bliss." This ends the 13th section of the Astika Parva in the Adi Parva. Here are the key takeaways from the story of Jaratkaru and his ancestors. 1. Importance of descendants. The story emphasizes the significance of having children and continuing the family line. The ancestors of Jaratkaru are suffering because they have no descendants, showing that in their culture, having offspring was considered essential for spiritual merit and fulfillment. 2. Asceticism versus family life. Jaratkaru, though a powerful ascetic dedicated to spiritual practices, is reminded that his intense focus on austerities and self-denial is incomplete without fulfilling his duty to his ancestors by having children. The story shows that one must balance personal spiritual growth with responsibilities to family and society. 3. Selflessness and duty. Jaratkaru's decision to marry and have children is not for his own pleasure or personal gain, but as an act of duty to his ancestors. This highlights the value of selflessness and fulfilling one's responsibilities for the greater good. 4. Humility and simplicity. Despite his great power and ascetic achievements, Jaratkaru humbly accepts the need for a wife, even if it means marrying someone from a modest background. This teaches humility and the importance of fulfilling life's duties without ego or attachment to worldly status. 5. Divine will and family duty. The story reflects the belief that fulfilling family duties, such as ensuring the continuation of the family line, is also a divine command, and neglecting it could bring spiritual consequences. The ancestors' request to Jaratkaru is seen as an obligation he must fulfill to ensure their peace and salvation. 6. The role of women in lineage. The story also hints at the role of women in preserving the family line, as Jaratkaru must marry and have children to save his ancestors from their suffering. However, this also underscores that the continuation of the family line is seen as both a duty for men and women, even though the male figure, Jaratkaru, is the main focus of the narrative. These key points reflect the story's moral lessons about duty, balance in life, and the importance of both spiritual and familial obligations. If you love learning and growing, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Teaching Troops. Hit the bell icon to join the revolution and never miss an update.
teaching troops.